You can build your own media server using a Raspberry Pi and parts from Adafruit. The Raspberry Pi 4 is a great platform for streaming content and can be used as a media server. Store all of your media on an SSD and use it as main storage for a significant speed boost in performance. A SATA to USB 3 cable can be used to gain faster transfer speeds of up to 50 megabits. 3D print a PC Tower inspired case to house your Pi and some extra goodies for a fully featured build. You can install Plex and stream live TV and movies, including services from Netflix, Disney+, and Hulu, just to name a few. Use a 1.9-inch TFT to display your Pi's IP address, CPU temperature, and even disk and memory usage. Using CircuitPython libraries, you can easily write your own scripts to display all sorts of content. You can even display GIF images and use the built-in buttons to cycle through them. Featuring a metal arcade button, you can use it to power down your Pi. It's good practice to safely shut down your Pi to avoid corrupting the disk. Pressing the button when it's shut down will automatically boot up in kiosk mode and enable the TFT display. Download the files and follow along with the tutorial to build your own by heading over to learn.adafruit.com. We hope this inspires you to build your own media server using the Raspberry Pi and parts from Adafruit.
I'm like, yeah, but you cheated by preparing.
That's like saying studying is cheating.
Hello and welcome to the Hackaday podcast. My name's Elliot Williams. I'm editor-in-chief of Hackaday.
And I'm Christina Panos, assignments editor at Hackaday.
This is episode 183. This week we'll be talking stowaway science, cold basements, and warm beers. This week in the news, we've got a lot of deadlines coming up for you. This is the last week of the call for proposals for submitting a talk or workshop to SuperCon, and SuperCon's coming up in November, and we've extended the deadline for submissions until September 1st. Why? I have no idea. We always extend the call for proposals for a week. It's like tradition at this point, but we had no good reason to do that. But the good news is I've actually talked to a couple people who are like, oh man, I slept on the deadline. Will I still have time? And the answer is yes, you have time until September 1st to get your stuff in. But we're not extending it twice. So those you darn procrastinators, get your talks and or workshop proposals in. If your talk gets selected, you get in free, and if it doesn't, well, heck, if it's a serious entry, we will give you the early bird prize for your tickets. So you've got nothing to lose and loads to gain. And actually, next week, I'm going off on vacation, so there's not going to be a podcast next week. And this then is the next to the last week of round 4 of the Hackaday Prize, Climate Resistant Communities. So if you've got something you'd like to get in for that, you've got a little bit more than a week now. But I won't be kicking your butt next Friday to tell you to get your thing in. So, consider your butt kicked a week in advance.
Unless Elliot can send a postcard to your butt from...
Round 4 of the Hackaday Prize ends Sunday, September 4th. At 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So get it in on Saturday. And then round 5 starts up, and this is the wild card round. Looking forward to that because, what's wilder than a wild card round?
Lightning round? No.
Ooh, that'd be good. We should have a lightning round where we electrocute people.
We should do that at SuperCon.
Yeah, I've seen that before. People occasionally bring high voltage implements to SuperCon, so there is kind of a lightning round.
I remember that. Attention, Midwestern keyboard enthusiasts. If you're anywhere near Kansas City, that's Kansas City, Missouri, the first Kansas City of 2 Kansas cities. And you have time to roll into town by noon on Saturday, the 27th. That's tomorrow, if you're listening to this on Friday, like you should. Come to the River Market area for Kansas City's first ever of any kind keyboard meetup.
Of any kind. A bold claim.
That we know of. Now, it's only slated to go for 2 hours, but I think it's going to be the fastest 2 hours of my life. And I can also see it extending beyond the 2 hours at an offsite location at the ice cream place down the street, as I suggest in the write-up. I have been packing my bags for what I'm going to bring, and they're getting pretty heavy. And I've forgotten some stuff that I'm excited actually to have with me on display. I'm even bringing my little metal display holder rack things, so they don't have to just sit flat on the table.
What percentage of your crazy keyboard collection are you bringing with you?
Of the crazy collection, 90, I would say.
Oh,
that reminds me. You reminded me. I think I'm going to take my old tan, ugly Kinesis and sticker bomb it
oh, nice.
instead of painting it. We're going to see how that goes.
I bet you there'll be some people there who've never typed on one of those, and they'll be stoked to see it in real life.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring the nicer looking one, I think. Maybe I'll bring both. Yeah, I'll probably bring both. And I want to bring something, some kind of laptop or something, so people can actually type on things and see. Because if you can't see what you're typing, are you really typing?
No, you're faking it. Yeah. It's like the actors when they're doing hacking in the movies,
Yeah.
right? It's like you're just flapping your fingers on the keyboard.
You might as well float your hand several inches above the Kinesis advantage like they do in Men in Black.
There must be consequences. Actual letters must be typed somewhere.
I need to link to that GIF because that's funny.
Yeah, you should.
GIF. Are you a GIF man or a GIF man?
I alternate randomly and without any prejudice.
Wow, that's very forward of you. Not forward. What's progressive?
Inconsistent is the word you're looking
No,
for.
I think it's progressive.
Yeah. No, I see both sides. Anyway, I am excited. You're going to take lots of pictures for us?
I'm going to take lots of pictures. I wish I had a streaming backpack set up.
Oh, man.
Because that would be cool.
That's a good segue. In about 10 minutes, so
Yeah.
save that.
Definitely pictures, maybe some, oh yeah, I was gonna cook up a couple of interview type questions for people.
Ooh.
Like, what's your daily driver? What's your dream board? And some other stuff, probably. Not too many things, but...
Hope you have a good time this weekend. That sounds like lots of fun.
Oh, thank you. I don't see how I could not have a good time.
This is a journey into sound.
What's that sound?
What's that sound?
All right, it's time for What's That Sound? And this week, Christina said she had a sound idea for us.
It's true. I was playing with my beep, and I was like, that's a cool sound.
Fantastic. Okay, well, I'm going to give it a listen. It's definitely like ratchety, springy. It's actually a super familiar sound. Damn it. That would be something's advancing, something with the you're moving a lever and some wheel is advancing. But why? Why does the wheel advance? Nah, I got nothing.
Hooray!
Hooray! Congratulations. First time ever. The shoe's on the other foot. Well, if you're out there listening and you can guess what this sound is, be sure to head on over to the links in the show notes over at hackaday.com/podcast. Fill out the form. Tell us what you'd like to be called on the air and what your guess is. And if it's right and if you've got luck, we'll be sending you a Hackaday podcast t-shirt. All right, let's start up the hacks. I'd like to start off with a video knife throwing machine gets the spin.
And I
To see it.
some oh yeah, I was gonna cook up a
If it's right and if you've got luck, we'll be sending you a Hackaday podcast t-shirt. All right, let's start up the hacks. I'd like to start off with a video knife throwing machine gets the spin just right. And this is a project by Quint, It's a fairly long video, and it goes through the development of this fairly large, I mean, it may be a meter long and kind of 10 by 20 centimeters. It's a huge, I guess, two-hand carry box-like thing that then spins and throws throwing knives at a target. This is one of those things that sounds like it's going to be a maybe easy, maybe medium difficult project before you start. And then you start getting into all of the details, and it just gets harder and harder. And some of them were, at least as Quint presents them to us, nearly insurmountable. But of course, it all works out in the end. So it's a really amusing video for that. But it's also fun just to look at this crazy machine, which basically uses two fast servo motors that have a long timing belt loop on them. And then in between these two timing belt loops, pressed up against the teeth, there's kind of a ring that has matching gear teeth for the timing belts. If you run both motors at the same speed, this little gear wheel thing is like brought along with them. But if you run one of them faster, the little gear wheel thing starts to turn. And that's kind of the secret here, because this is aiming to throw a throwing knife, and they have to spin, when you hold it by the tip and you kind of give it a little twist, like when you're throwing a frisbee or something, or a boomerang. It starts spinning as it's going, and that keeps it flying straight and on target. The trick, of course, is to get the number of spins just right so that it lands point in, and that depends on the distance away. And the idea here, anyway, was you could use LiDAR and you could calculate this easily.
This is K1DBC. All stations, please stand by. The Denver Radio Club Learning Net starts in 5 minutes.
Easy part kind of tacked on at the end that may have even motivated the whole project. But this kind of elaborate mechanism where you have a spinning wheel between these two timing belts, and then it also has to be powered because it has to hold on to the knife and then let go. And he tries to do that with an electromagnet. So the spinning wheel has brushes that then have to contact these like tracks along the way to provide the spinning wheel thing with power for the electromagnet. And then of course electromagnets don't, like, in your brain, you think about an electromagnet holding a knife on there and you're like, yeah, totally. And then I'm going to start spinning it and it's going to spin the knife. But pretty much no matter how strong that electromagnet is, you can have it really hold the knife on tight. But if you think about it spinning, the only thing keeping that knife spinning with it is friction. And so you can have like the world's strongest electromagnet, but if it's like well greased in between, the magnet's going to spin and the knife's not going to spin along with it. So he ends up having to kind of engrave teeth into the knife and into the magnet. And there's just all sorts of crazy details here that are the kind of things that, you kind of gloss over on, or at least I do when I'm starting a project like this. You kind of gloss them over in the beginning and you jump boldly into the project. And then it's like, oh, dude, details everywhere. But it's really fun to watch them get solved here.
It's a much harder problem to solve than making, say, a playing card shooter.
Yeah, right? Although it is totally similar.
That's what I thought of at first, and then you made me remember that, oh yeah, they spin too. That's no joke of a problem and a challenge right there.
Have you ever seen the paper airplane gun?
Yes.
Because I actually got the chance to see this thing in actual life.
No.
The guy who makes this paper airplane gun is German. He lives around here somewhere in southern Germany, and he brought it to Make Munich once and was shooting the darn thing. And I'm like, wow, I saw this on Hackaday. And here I am seeing it in real life, completely unrelated to Hackaday. Anyway, I'll definitely throw that link in the show notes, because a machine that folds paper airplanes for you and then shoots them out the front is a marvelous thing. But it's another one of these things where you have like two kind of gear wheels that like push things along like a card shooter.
Like a card shooter.
I probably need a card shooter.
Everybody needs a card shooter. Boy, I sure wish I had a streaming backpack.
I've heard someone else saying that recently.
And it has occurred to me upon choosing this first hack that I could probably build one myself for much less than the price of commercial streaming backpacks. For my first hack, I chose Live Streaming Backpack Takes Streaming on the Go. Now, Melissa isn't much of a streamer, but decided to build a streaming backpack for the technical challenge. And if you're not familiar with the whole streaming scene, a streaming backpack is essentially a setup you can take on the go to record audio and video and send it out through your, for example, your Twitch channel. So this one has a Raspberry Pi 4, which is not fast enough for encoding, but fortunately the GoPro that Melissa chose, the Hero 10, does its own encoding, and it has a USB interface, which makes it easy to use. So you can buy commercial streaming backpacks, and they start at like $2,300.
This is K1DBC. The DRC Learning Net will start in 1 minute. All stations please stand by while the repeaters are placed into net mode.
PL off.
All right, everyone, thanks for listening on here. Welcome to the Denver Radio Club YouTube, listening to the Hackaday podcast. Really cool thing here. We'll listen to another 60 seconds of it. So, yeah, check that out, hackaday.com. A lot of cool stuff there.
On it. And I suppose I forgot to mention the business part of the backpack is a 4G modem, which sends the goods back to your PC so you can stream it. I really like the backpack mount that Melissa designed. It goes straight onto the strap and has those fins that go, that strange fin GoPro mount. But in the future, that's one of the things they want to do is redesign it so it can move on 2 axes instead of just 1. And they want to figure out better cooling in the backpack. I would think maybe you could just throw a couple ice packs that don't condensate in there.
Right?
Or even if they do, put them in a Ziploc or something would help. And also to use an external microphone, which I found surprising that Melissa didn't use an external microphone, because my experience with GoPro cameras is I don't even know if ours has one. We have an old one, or if it does, it's terrible. The microphone on it.
I have 2 old GoPros that are so old.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Denver Radio Club Learning Net. This is K1DBC Net Control. Welcome back to the Denver Radio Club Learning Net. Again, a great place to learn about ham radio and STEM topics in general. Thankfully, we have plenty of combined experience and expertise. This is K1DBC. My name is Daron. I am Net Control. We meet every Wednesday except the third Wednesday of the month at 7:30 p.m. on Mountain Time on 145.490 and 448.625. You can contact us, Elmer, at W0TX.org. We also live stream our meetings, our nets over on youtube.com/Denver Radio Club. So even if you're not in the Denver area, or if you're not a member or whatever it may be, not licensed, you can always check in online. Denver Radio Club on YouTube. You can check in W0TX.org/check-in. I already had somebody doing that. Appreciate that. Over on Twitter, Facebook, all sorts of things. So yeah, please get in contact with us however you would like. This net can be broken at any time for emergency or priority traffic by using the word of break. Is there any emergency or priority traffic at this time? All right, we're going to actually go ahead and go right into regular check-ins. All check-ins will be taken in the net in alphabetical groups based on the first letter of the suffix of the operator's call sign. That is the first letter after the number in your call sign. If you can, please try to use I2 phonetics for your call sign and indicate if you have traffic or questions as you check in. If your suffix begins with the letters A through M, Alpha through Mike, please check in now.
Kilo 0, Lima, Alpha India, K0 LEI, Larry in Lakewood.
Kilo 6 Hotel Juliet Victor, K6HJV, Tom Arvada, no traffic. Whiskey Alpha 4, Mike, Bravo Golf, Bob and Aurora. Foxtrot 0 Juliet India Charlie Steve in Denver, no traffic.
WD0CIV, WD0CIV, Charles in Denver, no traffic.
All right, this is K1 DVC Net Control. We'll hold up there for just a moment. This is K1 DVC Net Control. First, people who had checked in online previously, N0TOA Jim and K0RAP Robert, appreciate you all checking in online. And then over the air, we had K0LAI Larry, K6HJV Tom, WA4MBG Bob, KF0JIC Steve, and WD0CIV Charles. Thank you all so much for checking in.
Kilo Bravo 3, Victor Charlie Uniform, Robin Thornton. Kilo Bravo 3, Victor Charlie Uniform.
All right, that's how we had KB3 VCU Rob. Thank you for so much for checking in.
Kilo 0 Golf Papa Alpha, Bob and Lakewood on HT.
All right, and that time we had K0GPA Bob. Thank you so much for checking in as always. Once more, this is Daron, K1DBC Net Control. I'd like to welcome anyone who'd like to check in. If your call suffixes begins with the letters A through M, alpha through Mike, and you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net just for the count, or if you have any traffic or questions, please call now.
November 0, Echo Yankee Zulu, Jim in South Jeffco.
Kilo Foxtrot 0, Foxtrot Papa India, Ron in Lakewood, no traffic.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. That time we had N0EYZ Jim and KF0FPI Ron. Thank you both for checking in as always. All right, we'll open up to the whole alphabet. If your call suffixes begins with the letters A through Z, Alpha through Zulu, and you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net just for the count, or if you have any traffic or questions, we're taking all call signs, all call suffixes. Please check in now.
This is Kilo India 4 Whiskey India November, KI4WIN Daniel in Aurora.
November 0, Tango Romeo Papa, Jim in Lakewood, good evening, with traffic.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. That time we had KI4WIN, Daniel, and N0TRP, Jim, with traffic. Thank you both for checking in.
For a significant speed boost in performance. A SATA to USB 3 cable can be used to gain faster transfer speeds of up to 50 megabits.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. We'll open up, again, the whole alphabet. If your call suffix begins with the letters A through Z, Alpha through Zulu, and you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net just for the count, or if you have any traffic or questions, it's a great place to learn about ham radio, science, STEAM, all sorts of things in regards to electronics. So all call signs, all call suffixes, please check in now with your name, call sign, and let us know if you have any traffic or questions. Please call now.
W0TX repeater.
A0RH, Chris in Arvada.
All right, and that time we had AE0RH Chris. Thank you so much for checking in, as always, as well. All right, once more, if you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net, it's a great place to learn about ham radio STEM topics in general. You can get more information on our club, W0TX.org. Lots of information there. We're streaming on YouTube and sharing some content, some behind the scenes of net control, and trying to give some better context, some additional context to what we're talking about. So youtube.com/Denver Radio Club. With that, we'll throw it out once more at the moment. If you'd like to check in to the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net, please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Had to grab a drink of water there for a moment. As you may have noticed, we didn't call for a person in chat saying they can't hit the repeater, but glad to see you online there. I appreciate that. I'm sure you're very welcome there in the Discord. Again, Discord chat, please come chat on our chat room, w0tx.org/Discord. A lot of activity there. Last call there, AE0RH helps to moderate that, and it's fairly self-moderated as well. So if you want to get in contact with local Denver Radio Club members online, Discord, that is the place to do. What was I going to say there? This is a K1DBC Net Control. Let me drop for just a second. Oh, yes. I did not call for Elmers this time, but that was from a request from our club Elmer. Hopefully it might potentially generate some more traffic to our net here. So let us know. You're always more than happy to check in as an Elmer, even if we don't call for them. And we're always happy to receive any help that we can get. So with that, though, we'll throw it over to N0TRP, Jim, with traffic. The net is yours. Go ahead.
Thanks, Jerome. This is N0TRP. Good evening, everybody. This really just an observation. First of all, how do you copy me, Jerome? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
Pretty much full quieting to the repeater. N0TRP. Yeah, got you loud and clear. 5 by 9, or however they say that. So N0TRP, go right ahead.
Okay, well, I usually come in on 2 meters on the 145.490 machine, but nights where the multipath is bad, then it's kind of barely understandable, so I just listen on another radio. But today it was really bad. Maybe just from the 2-meter machine on Centennial Cone peeking out about an S5, and really kind of just barely readable. So I switched over to the 448.625 machine, which is what I'm on now. And that seems to be, it shows weak, about an S2, but perfectly copyable. So, full quieting. So not, just kind of an observation there, just kind of puzzling why it works that way. But I know we have that multipath issue over Green Mountain sometimes, but tonight it seems to be more than usual. So anyway, just an observation there. N0TRP, back to net.
All right, N0TRP, this is K1DBC Net Control. Yeah, good comment there. Yeah, that was kind of something else. Somebody had made a comment in our chat room and our Discord here about unable to reach the repeater from Golden. So that is kind of odd. So yeah, it sounds like maybe there's some oddness out there. Yeah, I don't know. Everyone, from my perspective, seems to be coming in fairly clear. I'm located in the Inglewood area. I have, I guess, fairly good line of sight to the peaks there. But yeah, I'm not noticing anything. And if I ever have any issues on my side, please don't hesitate to let me know in terms of my reception to the repeater. So yeah, that is kind of odd. Yeah. Thanks for the report there, N0TRP. This is K1DBC. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. We often talk about some of the digital modes, FT8 and whatnot, and because they have internet capabilities, it's a lot easier to track and understand the propagation, really the real-time propagation of a band or whatnot. But within 2 meters 70 centimeter, we don't have too much of that availability, so we kind of have to rely on self-reports of signal reports and what you hear out there. So yeah, if at any given time you ever want to get a signal report to anyone out there, let us know. Or if you want to try to get on the repeater, or if you're having issues, let us know. This is K1DBC Net Control. Yeah, I'll throw it out to the group. Anyone else on that in terms of access to our repeaters this evening, the 2 meter or the 70 centimeter, or anything else at the moment, please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. All right, I'll throw it out to the group. We have plenty of time here this evening. If anybody has any comments, questions, check-ins, anything you'd like to bring up for this evening's net, please let us know.
About that in a minute. Meanwhile, the region 3089 is the biggest of the flare players. This region launched almost an M6 flare, so we've gotten R2 level.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Yeah, I guess just better any line of sight. I mean, the mountain peaks we have provide pretty good coverage. We have repeater maps over on our website, and because of the elevation, yeah, it provides a lot. Should provide fairly good coverage to the Denver metro area. Most of our repeaters that are on some of the peaks there. So this is K1DBC Net Control. Yeah, yeah. Don't ever hesitate again to let us know. But yeah, if anybody has any comments, questions, check-ins, we have another quite a bit of time here. 8:30 p.m. we usually end, so another 30 to 40 minutes. I have plenty of things I can bring up, but if anybody has any comments, questions, check-ins, please call now.
KI4WIN.
Yeah, KI4WIN. Go right ahead.
Yeah, good evening. I want to first start by untangling my tongue around my eye tooth. Let's try to do that. And then I want to say thanks for running the net. I appreciate it. I really appreciate the format of this particular net because it's nice to have a chance to interface with other hams and ask questions and discuss different topics and ideas and so on. The next part of that is from last week's discussion. I talked about different naming conventions as we name our, some might name their memory channels and their radios. And I have taken to not naming my channels. I did get all of my radios, both of my mobiles programmed with the local repeaters. And I found a whole bunch of problems with my programming system and my programming methods, so I fixed most of those. I've got some more work to do there, but found a bunch of bugs and got it all worked out. And the other thing I'll introduce to the net is we've got the Tour de Cure coming up, so I think we should talk about being prepared for events, and I'd love to hear some feedback about how best to prepare for those and how you stay ready for various events.
All right, KI4WIN, Daniel, this is K1DBC Net Control.
Did I time out the repeater again?
No, not at all. KI4WIN, this is K1DBC Net Control. Nope, being in net mode, it shouldn't have any timeout now. So yeah, I copied all you on that. So yeah, thank you so much for that. Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate being able to put on this net, and yeah, I'm glad people find some knowledge from this net. So yeah, haven't really talked about it too much. I wasn't sure if our club was going to go through with it, but the 2022 Tour de Cure, it will be kind of the first time our club in quite a while has supported an Aries type of event. This is a cycling event. And luckily our club board has stepped up to be able to direct and administrate this. So September 10th, and there's a lot of cool stuff happening. So hopefully there's a lot more that comes out of that. So yeah, great question. Event preparedness. How do you prepare for, or emergency preparedness, event preparedness? I mean, how do you prepare for an event, as you asked, whether it be a cycling event or any sort of a marathon or Aries types of events? There is a lot to get into, I'm sure, but if anybody has anything immediately they want to bring up, please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Again, don't all jump in at once, no problem. Again, this is a fairly new topic to our club, but some of our members have some experience. So if you have experience with any Aries groups or what have you, whether it be for whatever event may be, how would you prepare for this? Because I'm sure we have a lot to talk about, different stations and different needs, and let me see if I can bring up some of the specifics on this, but I'll throw it out to the group. Please call now.
KI4WN.
Yeah, KI4WN, go right ahead.
Well, I feel like this is mostly going to be a conversation between you and I until I say something controversial and a bunch of other people chime in. So I'll start with how I stay prepared at a basic level. I stay prepared by building in preparedness in every stage and every day of my life. In the same way that I work on training my dogs every day. I don't spend hours and hours every day doing training. I just spend a few minutes here and there making corrections when necessary and making adjustments. When I find a problem, I either fix it on the spot or I make a plan to get it fixed. The same thing goes with radio. We've had a lot of talk about go boxes, and I've never had an actual functional go box, and I finally realized that technically my truck is my go box. You know, I've been on the road for the last 5 years, and I'm used to working out of my truck, and it is my go box. I have a cooler in there. I keep water and snacks and medical supplies and tools and all sorts of other stuff in there, and I'm just used to wherever I go, I take my truck. So I'm just going to finish building it out as my go box / ham shack, which is not a new plan by any means, and utilize that. But I stay prepared in amateur radio by using my equipment, chatting with other people on the repeaters and on Simplex, and finding ways and means that I can further my ability to communicate. I think one of the other important things too, and this might be the most important part, is you know, we say maintaining preparedness and being ready and all that stuff. But the reality is a lot of people don't know what that means. What action items can you take from that? What specific tasks need to be completed for that? And I'm finding the same problem at work with my company. They have the same issues. Nobody knows what the answers to those questions are. So I found that I need to go find the appropriate measuring stick to apply to that. And in amateur radio, the measuring stick I use is, can I effectively communicate with the amateur radio community around me, both locally and long distance? And if not, what is preventing me from doing that? Back to net control.
All right, a lot of good information there, KI4WA and Daniel. This is K1 DVC Net Control. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. There is a lot to go into this in terms of preparedness for your life or anything. Fix problems, make action plans. Don't let things just go to the back burner and relinquish. Just try to keep going forward, try to keep moving forward, try to understand your needs, the needs of what you're trying to do, and the purposes what event or what you're trying to do. I'm looking at the Arapahoe Aries page here. Training, logistics for ham radio in general, site surveys, understand what type of equipment is needed. Understand if you need if it can just be handheld radios, or if you may need HF. Come up with an ICS plan. Make sure everyone understands what channels need to be spoken on and what channels are for, and make sure everyone can program their radio and their operators are programmed. And a lot of administrations and operations. Make things easy for yourself. A lot of interesting stuff there to get into. I'll throw it out to the group. There is certainly a heck of a lot to get into, and I would love to hear more as we get to this event and hear what comes of this, because this is a fairly new operation for us, and our upcoming meeting has changed slightly, but a very similar topic to what we're talking about here. K0LAI Larry, who had checked in earlier, he will be giving a presentation on something very similar to this, the Golden Grand Fondo. He's going to be speaking about most of the course has no coverage, cell coverage, in case of 911 won't work. And different areas groups help to provide support with multiple frequencies, digital and analog modes, and public service frequencies. So check that out for the third Wednesday's meeting. And again, September 10th, and we'll probably have a lot more on it. So I'll throw it out to the group. I'll throw it out to anyone. Event preparedness, emergency preparedness, go boxes, mobile operations. Does anybody have anything they want to speak about at the moment? Please call now.
K0GPA.
K0GPA. Bob, go right ahead.
Okay, I was just going to tell you, I don't know if you know about this. There's a preparedness net on Wednesdays. Comes on actually the same time as this net, but it's a simplex 146,550, and I used to check into that a lot, and I've been checking in this one more. But it's called the Preparedness Net, and they talk about a whole bunch of different subjects on radio and everything else there. K0GPA.
All right, K0GPA, Bob, thanks for the information there. The preparedness emergency or preparedness educational network, it sounds like, Wednesday nights 7:30 p.m. Simplex 146550. Another interesting place to check into. A lot of overlaps with that stuff. So thanks for bringing that up. All right, this is K1 DVC Net Control. In terms of ham radio, there is a lot of opportunities for helping with a lot of things we've been talking about, whether it be amateur radio emergency services groups, ARES groups. We have RACES, RACES, the Radio Amateur Civil Emergency Services. We have Skywarn to help keep the National Weather Service abroad of the weather. We have there's a Community Emergency Response Teams, CERT. You've probably heard of them. American Red Cross, the Salvation Army, their network, the Salvation Army Team Emergency Radio Network, Saturn Network, Oxcom, a lot of different things here. React, one I haven't heard of. So yeah, a lot of opportunities within amateur radio to help within that, and a lot of understanding to help with your own preparedness for whether it be for an event or for our real life event emergency situation. So KI4WIN Daniel, if you have anything further on that or anyone else, please call now.
Oh, I'm sure I can come up with something else.
All right, no problem. Yeah, I guess just to cover the brief information I've been given about this upcoming event we're going to be supporting. They'll have 5 aid stations at a command center, and a lot of hams. A lot of people have already volunteered for it, which is awesome to see. Not just from our club, but from different clubs, different areas groups. So this will be a multi-club organization support event support for them. So the American Diabetes Association Tour de Cure will be trying to utilizing our repeaters and a lot of mobile operations, as we've just spoken about, mobile operations set up in your vehicles or what have you. So yeah, a really cool event, and we'll be hearing a lot about a lot of these types of events for the next few months here. So this is K1 DBC Net Control. Yeah, KI4WIN. If you have anything else, or if you want to go ahead, go right ahead.
All right. Well, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I don't want to monopolize the net by any means. But if the rest of y'all are going to sit there quietly, then well, I'm going to take full advantage of it. So I have heard of all of those organizations. I have actually worked with all of those organizations at one point in time or another. I have found that there's a lot of places that don't have all of them. Especially rural areas. They don't have, in fact, there's some rural areas that don't seem to have coverage at all until you go and dig around and find the ARES coordinator for the county and say, hey, I'm over here. And that was a habit I developed when I was traveling, is when I knew I was going to be somewhere for a few weeks at least, I would reach out to the local ARES at the county level, the ARES county coordinator, and say, hey, this is who I am, and this is what I can offer, and here's my training certifications, and just want to let you know I'm in your county. I'll be here for a few weeks, and if I can be of assistance at all, let me know. And this is actually what got me into amateur radio in the first place, was public service events. I started out, I was a mechanic at a bicycle shop, and we went out and provided SAG services for a local ride. And the local ham radio club put a ham radio operator in my truck, and he put in a radio and a mag mount antenna and all that jazz, and off we went. And we had a great time, and from that day, a couple of different people in the club, one specific person who was also friends with my boss, would come by the shop pretty regularly and kept bugging me and say, when are you going to get your ticket? I didn't know what it meant, didn't want anything to do with it. I said, whatever, that's fine. Well, as events went on, I got the same radio operator each time, and the running joke was that nobody else wanted to ride with me, and he was old, and he was like, I'll take the bullet for it. So we'd go off and handle the stuff we needed to handle for our event. And I think it was either the third or the fourth event. There's traffic being passed between myself I was SAG 2, and my boss, who was SAG 1, and the radio operator with me just handed me the microphone and said, "Here, talk to your boss." And I almost froze. I was blown away. I'm not ready for this. And he said, "You're fine. You got it. Do your thing." So I had a conversation with him, and the radio operator there said, "Hey, you're a natural," and refused to touch the microphone for the rest of the event. Absolutely would not. Would not. He told me his call sign, and he would tell me when to put out his call sign, and that was it. And that was a lot of fun, and that's what got me into amateur radio.
Awesome. Very, very cool there, KI4WIN. Daniel, this is a K1 DBC Net Control. Yeah, so those SAG vehicles, it's just some support vehicles used during events. Failing to bring up some photos here, but like events like that. That's awesome to hear. So just found some older photos of you here from 2010. It looks like interesting to see here from Le Grand Champ Fest. So that is funny to hear that. You just got in there and he handed it over to you, and that was that. So sometimes that's all it takes. So if anybody is listening out there, don't hesitate to just to try to jump in there, and you might find yourself natural at something you may not thought of, and it's quite a good purpose and quite a lot of fun. So really cool, Daniel. KF4WN, this is K1DBC.
Net Control, KE6BAL. You got time for a last-minute check-in?
Not a problem. KE6BAL. I got you checked in, Gabriel. Yeah, not a problem. We got plenty of time here. So, appreciate you checking in.
Oh, I'll go ahead and check in also, drone. KE0SUM. Jonathan, Lakewood.
All right, that time we had KE0SUM. Jonathan, thank you so much for checking in. Yeah, I want to say thanks for checking in here. Gabriel, I believe you're a new member to our club. I think I saw here coming in on a, KE6BAL. Yeah, thanks for joining our club here recently. Awesome to see that. And glad to have you here. If you have any questions, let us know. Friendly crowd, we do not bite. And let us know if you have any comments or questions. So we have another 20 minutes or so. I'll throw it out to the group. Any comments, questions, check-ins, anything else for this evening's net, please call now.
A0RH.
KE0SUM.
Rhonda Sum, is that going to work? Rhonda Sum? No. Where have I had a Rhonda? There we go. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. We had A0RH in there and K0SUM. A0RH, go right ahead.
W0TX repeater.
Oh,
I wanted to make sure, I guess, I'm not changing the subject in case Jonathan had something on the Aries stuff he wanted to say.
Oh, no problem. Appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. K0SUM. Jonathan, if you want to speak anything on areas or anything we were talking about, go ahead.
No, drone. My 3 other topics, some you've been talking about, but I couldn't respond to, but not about areas. KE0SUM.
Okay, no problem. All right, so A0RH, go right ahead.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about HF antennas. I'm building my first HF antenna because due to the Ham Fest, thanks everyone, I got a HF radio to use for summits on the air or parks on the air. And I bought a little matching kit for an in-fed half-wave, and I started doing the 40 meter, and man, that's a lot of wire, and I think that's just going to be too cumbersome. So looking for people who have experience with this, will I miss out on being able to activate and use the radio in a significant way if I just do it for 20 meters instead because of the length?
Drone, I moved away for a second. I might be able to help, but I missed part of the question. If you could re-say, I'd appreciate it.
So basically, oh, sorry. I'll wait for Jerome.
No, right ahead. Go right ahead. K or AEZRH, go right ahead.
So basically the question is, 40 meters is too much stinking wire, so will I miss out on anything significantly with doing the length for 20 meters, or do I just suck it up and be like, yeah, it's going to be a huge mast and you're going to take up space on the summit?
I think I'm hearing your question right. You were talking basically 40 versus 20, but I thought I heard you mention POTA. Now, I do POTA, and I do it during the daytime, and I rarely work 40 meters. The band's just better in the evening, so I generally won't even mess much with 40 during the daytime.
Okay, fuera bien.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Yeah, good question there, AEZRH Chris. Yeah, due to the length of the wire needed for a 40-meter band, essentially, will you miss out on a lot of contact possibilities? Yeah, just very quickly looking at the PSK reporter map. There's 1,200 monitors on the 20-meter band over the last 15 minutes, and 864 monitors, people monitoring on the 40-meter band. So seems like, yeah, and basically probably different types, parts of the day as well as s.t.e.m mentioned there if you're trying to do summits on the air or parks on the air. That might help determine that as well. But yeah, I'll throw it over to KI4 WIN. Daniel, go right ahead.
Couple of parts to this, and I'll try to summarize it as this. Anytime you do anything at all in amateur radio, you're going to miss out on some other part. The reality of this, and I try to remind people, because some people take this way too seriously, this is a hobby. We do this for fun. If you are not having fun, you are doing it wrong. And that is the only way to do it wrong. Everything else, as long as you're within Part 97 FCC rules, is doing it right. So I always tell people, have fun, do what you want to do. And following up on, and I apologize, I've got a big screen in front of me, and I'm eating popcorn and adding calendar events, so I didn't catch everybody's name and call sign. But following up on the gentleman before me, 20 meters is pretty good during the day. 40 meters is not. 40 meters typically opens up and performs better in the evening or in the very early morning hours. And the other thing, too, is if you're going to hike up a mountain, big one, small one, doesn't matter, you're going to hike up a mountain and haul that stuff up with you, save yourself the hassle and get yourself the lightest kit you can. And another point to that is Summits on the Air has its own spotting system because people are excited to work SOTA stations. People a lot of ham radio operators get excited to work those specialty stations and specifically seek them out. And when they do that, the first thing they're going to look is to see where you're operating. And if they see you're operating in 20 meters, I don't know any hams, and I can't imagine any hams who would say, oh, he's on 20 meters? Well, never mind, I don't want to talk to him. I'd bet you dollars to donuts that no ham radio operator who wants to work SOTA stations would ever say that. And instead what they would say is, oh, let me tune my radio over to that frequency in 20 meters and see if I can catch this guy. So I say, if you're going to hike up a mountain, take the gear with you that you're comfortable with, go up there, have a good time, do your thing. And you know what? If you decide to go out at night, or you get a lot of requests for 40 meters, or you have some other reason to start using 40 meters up there, then worry about building a 40-meter antenna or adding wire to the one you have. Until then, go out there and have fun, play with the radio, and enjoy it.
All right, KI4 WIN. Appreciate all the information there. You might want to step over on the other side of the mic one day here onto Net Control. I'd love to have you on this side. This is K1 DVC Net Control. Lots of stuff there. Lots of stuff. Yeah. You know, this hobby, it is a hobby of engineering and a lot of heady stuff. But if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. So, you know, have fun, you know, with what you can. You make things easier. You know, if you're going to be doing Summits on the Air. I know we had a Summits on the Air person speak at one point, and there's some pretty interesting maybe paid for tools online that you can see where you can park the closest to the summit and whatnot. But there's a lot of reasons that a lot of people do either CW or QRP, because you don't want to be hauling a bunch of stuff out there. So Summits on the Air, Parks on the Air, whatever the case may be, whatever band you're working on, there's probably somebody out there listening or spotting. But I'll throw it back out to AE0RH. If you want to follow up on anything, or anyone else have anything, please call now.
GPA. That's pretty helpful. The comment about parks on the air, I really just want to do parks on the air, I guess, to test the antenna. My main goal is Summits on the Air, and I'm not really, when I say missing out, I mean not actually being able to activate the summit. I don't mean like missing out on radio play. I just want, sometimes it's hard to make enough contacts quickly enough on VHF, and some of these summit hikes take me many hours to get to. So I want to make sure when I pack this radio up that I can make contacts and, you know, get the activation, because it's hard to get back out to attempt the activation again.
S.t.e.m. Daron, can I ask a quick question?
W0TX repeater.
All right, no problem. Yeah, we had K0 GPA Bob in there. We'll get back to you here in just a second. Yeah, S.t.e.m. Go right ahead. KE0 SUM, Jonathan, go right ahead with that question.
Well, GPA is Bob, but my question was, when you're doing SOTA, what radio are you wanting to run full power, or are you going to do QRP or a low power? That's going to make a big difference, in my opinion. KE0 SUM, sorry if I stepped on anyone.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. No problem at all. Yeah, sorry, there was a double in there. I think there was a GPA Bob. We'll get back to you here, Bob, as well. But yeah, good question there. SUM, A0H. Yeah, what type of radio did you purchase or are looking to use during these types of events? Go right ahead.
A0RH. Yeah, it's definitely going to be QRP. I'm going to be using the Zygu X6100. So that's 5 watts on internal battery, and if I bring an external battery, then I can get up to a whopping 10 watts, but yeah, it'll definitely be low power.
Well, of course, that does make a lot of difference. By the way, I have both the Zygu G90 and the X6100, and I've had quite a few great contacts on 5 watts with it, using a vertical ham stick on the car. So it's definitely light enough. It should serve your purposes once you do a SOTA, and I think it's been mentioned, yeah, just put up a 20-meter antenna, and if you want, you can lengthen it at a different time. KE0SUM, back to net.
All right, sounds good. SUM, yeah, good question there. Yeah, good follow. Appreciate that. AZRH, Chris, the Zygu X 6100 here, pretty slick looking transceiver here, HF and 50 megahertz, pretty cool. Yeah, QRP, but you know, you can do quite a lot with QRP, a lot more than that you might expect. So yeah, very cool stuff there. Yeah, I'll throw it over to K0GPA Bob. You had a follow up on it. Go right ahead.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I just want to respond to 40 meters. Actually, 40 meters is one of the best bands you can use during the day for local communications. I've done it a lot, and especially for SOTA and POTA. SOTA, I've worked a lot of people on 40 up in the mountains, and most of them been on CW, but still I've worked some on sideband too, but my favorite mode for SOTA is CW. But yeah, 40 will get you out 400 or 500 miles during the daytime, and during the afternoon sometimes it goes down more. Then it starts to pick up, like WIN said. 40 stretches out at night, just like 80 meters does the same thing, and 20 kind of goes away. But yeah, during the daytime, check in there. I've worked a lot of people on 40 during the day, especially during the winter time. When I'm home a lot. Let's see what else. That's about it. K0GPA, back to you.
A0RH.
All right, K0GPA Bob. Yeah, thanks for the follow up on that. Appreciate that. Yeah, another. We talked about pskreporter.info for their map for understanding the propagation. Another good option is dxheat.com /DXC. You can get a good heat map of what bands are active and what things are out there. So AE0RH, Chris, go right ahead.
Thanks for that, Bob. I'd be real interested. I've watched a lot of videos on people doing 40, like using 40 meter antennas or wire antennas to do SOTA, but a lot of the peaks I've been on just don't have trees and stuff. So yeah, it looks. I was just expecting it to be really difficult, but yeah. Maybe I'll look you up on QRZ and contact you, because I'd like to hear more about that antenna setup.
K0GPA.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. I'm finally understanding now what you meant by the Chris AZRH, what you meant by the length. Yeah, I guess you need quite a lot of length to spread that antenna out. You might not find that on a mountain peak where it's you're above alpine level or whatever it may be. So yeah, K0GPA Bob, go right ahead.
Yeah, most of the antennas that the SOTA people use are end feds, and they usually bring fiberglass pole up with them. You know, like they call them those crappie rods that are used for fishing, and they go up to what I forgot. I think they go up to 20 feet or more. But a lot of the mountain tops, they're all rock, so they don't conduct. Anyway, I'm not sure how to say this, but they actually it's not like laying your antenna on the ground. But although I've heard some people that's what they do, they lay them on the rocks and that, and it works just fine. But yeah, at home I just have a big loop antenna running around the backyard, and I feed it with a tuner, and it works great for 80 and 40 and 30, and that's mostly what I use it on. But yeah, otherwise those verticals like what Jonathan uses, they work good too. But the thing with verticals is the first hop is usually you can't hear people up on a mountaintop that are using verticals because it'll skip right over you. And but Jonathan uses those verticals, and they work real good too. K0 GPA.
S.t.e.m with a question for Bob.
Perfect. Thanks for all the follow-up there, GPA Bob. Yeah, question, go right ahead.
We can come back to my verticals, which I like quite a lot, but while it was on my mind, there's two things. Bob, I was curious, if you're doing 40 meters during the day and 400-mile range, is that NVIS then? The other thing is, don't let me forget, Daron, did you already publicize the upcoming hit transmitter hunt? KE0 S.t.e.m, back to net.
Okay, yeah, I got the email on that, and I don't know if I'll make it or not. I might be up in the mountains riding ATV, but yeah, those Wolf River coils like you use work real good. They use them in the mountains, or a lot of those ham sticks, just the ham sticks, they work pretty good too. I've used them quite a bit for 20, mostly for 20 and 15, but they're vertical. You can put them on your vehicle and stuff. But yeah, there's a bunch of different ones. You just have to kind of look around, I guess. K0 GPA.
W0TX repeater.
All right, this is K1 DVC Net Control. All right, this is K1 DVC Net Control. Thank you so much again for all the follow-up there, GPA Bob. I wonder if anybody has any comments, questions on summits on the air, parks on the air, operations for 40 meters, anything we've spoken about so far, or anything else. I know a few other people have said they have some things. We had a check-in, KS0E Alex, appreciate that checking in online. So again, anyone on the topic that we were just speaking about, please call now. All right, this is K1 DVC Net Control. All right, question in there again from KE0 S.t.e.m. No, I had not brought it up, but again, a reminder, upcoming Fox Hunt event, September 11th, 9 a.m. Pretty interesting event to get a hold of. N0CFM at AOL.com. 10 by 10 square miles of operator that's available to search. I believe you can check in and get more questions on the Intermountain repeater 145.280. And again, a lot more info on his QRZ page, N0CFM. You'll see some information about how to get in contact, and you'll see some information potentially about the power and operations, as well as what is actually being used to transmit on that Fox Hunt. So yeah, appreciate that, KE0 S.t.e.m. If anybody has obtains that or has anything on that, let us know. So again, upcoming Fox Hunt event, N0CFM at AOL.com.
I can give you the boundaries.
Yeah, KE0 S.t.e.m. Go right ahead.
Self-admitted transmitter hunter. I've done every one of them. We started a year ago, December. This is in the southwest area. On the south is C470, and C470 wraps clear around and then it hits Alameda. So that's the south and west borders. Alameda is the north border, and Broadway is the east border. So that is the boundaries for this hunt. It'll start at 9 a.m. Saturday, September 11th. Actually, I need to look. The check-in frequency is the Denver Intermountain Repeater Group, but it's not the one you mentioned, Jerome. But I'll get back with you on that. So yeah, it's fun, very friendly afterwards. We all stand around, talk, and eat donuts. So I encourage everyone to get on it. Have an HT and a handmade tape measure antenna. You can find the hidden transmitter. K0SUM, back to that.
All right, K0SUM, this is Jerome K1DVC Net Control. Yeah, I must have misheard it last time, but yeah, update here again by help with the rebound KI4WIN, I believe. 145475 is the talking repeater, 145475. Request to repeat, Jonathan, can you repeat once more those boundaries? Go right ahead.
Certainly. The transmitter, the guy, ham, who is being hunted this time is KD4DT, Tom. And he played the very first game with me, or we did together. But the northern boundary is Alameda. And then you go to the east, and you go all the way down Broadway. That's your eastern boundary. Then you hit C470. And then you drive all the way around back up to Alameda. I think it's probably bigger than our 10 by 10, but so it's a little challenging. A lot of times it's always hidden in a public area and usually close to a bathroom, kind of the rules. So you look for like schools, libraries, parking lots of different kinds. It's quite interesting. We all play just for the fun.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Appreciate the information there, and we got the our event updated on our calendar. So yeah, appreciate that. KE0SUM, Jonathan. This is K1DBC Net Control. Yeah, appreciate that. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Again, another stream where the time has just flown by quite quickly, but no hard stop. I know SUM had some additional information. Jonathan, if you want to go ahead with any additional traffic or anything, go right ahead.
Hey, John, I had two quick things. I was listening earlier, but due to visiting people, I couldn't get back. And for this repeater, I'm in Lakewood at Jewel and Wadsworth. I don't hit it well with 5 watts. I generally have to use mid-power. The s.t.e.m 400 right now I'm using, I think, 25 watts. So I'm just kind of doing a follow-up from what I heard about people hitting the repeater. The other thing was, a while back I looked on YouTube, I was watching a YouTube, and here was Josh saying, here's a $60 computer, an Evolve 3 from Micro Center. And I went and bought one. And I've been using it a lot, and I'm so happy with this computer. One of the best $60 laptops I've ever owned. So that was the 2 quick follow-ups there. KE0SUM, back to net.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. That flew by really quick. I missed that. I heard Josh and Ham Radio. I think it was Ham Radio Crash Course, and you mentioned a computer. What was the computer once more? This is K1DBC. Go right ahead.
I did a review a week or so ago from Micro Center. I picked up a Evolve 3. He had picked one up, and he said it was like perfect for taking out to a POTA. It's small, lightweight. You can do all your logging with it. Well, $60, I said, I'll give it a try. So now I've kicked its tires for a week or so, and I'm quite happy with it. And I think they may still be on sale, but you couldn't quote me on that.
All right, perfect. The Evolve here 3. Somebody's giving me a link. Really appreciate that. Let me bring that up here. Interesting. Nice little. Can't beat the price. $60 over at Micro Center. Runs Windows 10, Windows 11. It looks like here, and probably a fairly good device. It sounds like for some of the portable logging and some of the basic things we need. So yeah, KS0E. Alex had also mentioned he bought one of those as well. So pretty cool here. So yeah, for $60, that's pretty hard to beat. It has all Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, everything that you would expect. So, basically a Raspberry Pi computer type thing, somebody said here. So, a lot of cool things out there, a lot of price points that we've never really seen in the past before for some equipment that we've always kind of wanted. So, the Evolve 3, I appreciate the follow-up on that, s.t.e.m, K0 s.t.e.m. This is K1DBC Net Control.
Point with this particular laptop is it came without any, let's say, adware and things like that. It was so easy to set up, and then there's a program called CC Cleaner. A lot of people know what that stands for. I have that, and I put it on, and it didn't find a lot of problems. It works just great for what it does. I'm not a power user. I just needed something light to do some logging and some other things. You can easily cruise the internet. So it was, I thought, a very good value. KE0 s.t.e.m back in that.
Very cool. Something, these things at these price points, we've never really seen that, and it's been a long time since I've looked into some of these lower end products. But it's hard to beat these prices, and why not give it a shot? So the Evolve 3 Maestro. We had K0 GPA Bob in there. Go right ahead.
Okay, K0 GPA. Yeah, I got one too. And if you get the one with the SIM card, there's a box on the label has 2 barcode tags on it, and it's got a SIM card in it, and you can take that SIM card out and put in a hard drive, I think it was. There's some stuff on the internet tells you how you can add more memory. I'm pretty sure it's a hard drive you can add up to, I forgot how many gigabytes, at least 512 or so. But yeah, the way they make the hard drives nowadays, they're not very big. There's quite a big difference from years ago. K0 GPA.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Again, great follow-up there. Really do appreciate that, Bob. This is K1DBC Net Control.
Thing if you might be interested in it.
All right, perfect. This is K1DBC Net Control. Yeah, this kind of wraps back to what we were talking about with ham radio go boxes and preparedness. And, over the years, we've had to make do with some clunky type operations. But over the years, things have become slimmer, less cables, less wires, and slimming down our operations. So, another great tool in your go box is the Evolve 3. So, Windows platform is always a nice complement to have. You can always run things on Raspberry Pis, but it's always nice to have a Windows platform if you need. So, good information there. So this is K1DBC Net Control. I'll throw it out to the group again. We're just a little bit over time here, but there is no hard stop to the net here. S.t.e.m, or if anybody else any other further follow-up or comments or traffic, please call in.
You missed a comment from Bob Drone.
Oh, sorry about that. K0 GPA, Bob. Yeah, I must have missed that. Go right ahead.
Okay, I got something a little different. you might be interested in this. This is about a VHF propagation map, and this has been changing since you started the net. Anyway, it's called APRS menolink.org, and it shows you what 2 meters does. If you log into that, it shows the map over your area, and it changes all the time. Right now, for our area, it's bright green. When it turns to red, it's really good propagation on 2 meters. I don't know if they have it for 70 centimeters or not, but learn this from the sideband group in the mornings. It's aprs.menolink.org. If you look that up, you have to bring in adjust it to Denver area, and it'll show you a map of that, what's going on. And these stations pop up all over, and some of them are like 150 miles away, but I'm not sure what mode they're using. Anyway, back to you, Jerome, K0GPA.
K0GPA, Bob, this is K1DBC Net Control. Yeah, great information there. Yeah, we were talking about propagation reports and how there might not necessarily be too much technical solutions to help with that for VHF and UHF because they're not always internet connected. But Menolink, MENNO, Mike Edward November Oscar link.org, aprs.menolink.org. Great tool here. I will have to put this in the toolbox here. Yeah, you drill down statewide and you can get some pretty good propagation information. I'm guessing green is always better, but you can kind of click on some of the call signs and you can see distance and bearings and frequency that they were, or at least VHF or UHF frequency and last heard. So I'm not sure how this is being collated together, whether it be packet or something. I don't know, but a great tool here. aprs.menolink.org.
Whoops. Anyway, during our one sideband net in the morning, we got into Texas and Oklahoma and Missouri, I think it was, on sideband.
Perfect. Thanks there, K0GPA, Bob. I guess the way that works should just be right in the name. It uses APRS packets. So if you are using APRS on your device, analog device, whatever it may be, it is being collated to help with propagation reports. So pretty cool. Again, aprs.menolink.org. Cool there, K0GPA, Bob. Yeah, if you get in there, follow up on that, go right ahead.
That's all I had, K0GPA. I know it's getting late.
All right, no problem. All right, yeah, sounds good. Yeah, another great tool there. So yeah, talked about quite a lot here this evening. This will probably be the second to last call. It is getting a little bit late here. Let's do any last minute check-ins, comments, or excuse me, check-ins. Any last minute check-ins for the net? This will be the second to last call for check-ins. Please call now.
KE0RLQ checking in, Michelle.
All right, in that time we had KE0RLQ. Michelle, thank you for checking in. Bring up the last thing for you guys here. Let's see. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. All right, this is, again, well, this will be the second to last call. Well, this will be the, second to last call. Any last minute comments, questions, check-ins, anything else you'd like to bring up for this evening's net? Please call now.
A0RH.
Yeah, AE0RH. Go right ahead.
So I talked to a few few people at the Hamfest and had mentioned the Discord, and some people didn't understand what Discord was. It's basically a chat room, but basically I just wanted to plug it. It's been growing and getting a lot of good activity, and it's a good way to stay connected with everybody just throughout the week when we're not on nets or not having the meeting. So if anybody was not aware that we have a Discord, that you could join it, the link's on the site, and yeah, it's just a chat room is, I guess, the gist of it.
Awesome, KE or AE0RH. Chris, yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, I'll have to bring up Hamfest here very, very quickly, but yeah, Discord, W0TX.org/Discord. Yeah, great way to chat. Whether if you can't make the repeater or if you ever have any comments or questions or want to get more information about the club or the Denver area, W0TX.org/Discord. Ever growing here. Always awesome to see a lot more members on there. So yeah, come chat, ask questions, post pictures of your operations or whatever you got there. So yeah, things for just general discussions, ham learning nets. We got some bots and some soda spots and POTA spots, and yeah, talking about the Tour de Cure volunteer event that we got coming up here. So yeah, don't sleep on that. A lot of opportunity there, a lot of conversation there. So I am fairly introverted, so you might not find me there too often, but I love that this is happening and love seeing everyone out there. So Chris, AE0H, really appreciate helping to moderate that and loving to see all the discussion there. So this is K1 DBC Net Control. Yeah, W0TX.org/Discord. DICORD. Yeah. All right, and then yeah, as mentioned, our Hamfest over the weekend had an amazing turnout. 400 and something people turned out. Really awesome to see. A lot of people at the event. I showed up a little bit late, so hopefully I'll get some more photos with some more people. But had a lot of our Colorado section managers out there. A lot of the different Aries groups we're talking about. A lot of cool equipment, a lot of cool vehicles, a lot of cool stuff out there. So was glad to be able to put some faces to names, and great to finally meet some people. So yeah, hopefully you were able to window shop or buy something or sell something or learn something. We had some VE testing there, so a lot of cool stuff. Hopefully you checked it out. W0TX.org/hamfest for just a few photos, and yeah, really great turnout. Really appreciate everyone being there. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. All right, nearing around 8:50 p.m. Mountain Time. Appreciate everyone being here. This will be the last call. Any last minute check-ins, comments, questions, anything else last minute for this net? This will be the final call. This is K1 DBC Net Control. Please call now. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Real quick on the Discord channel. Again, it's on our website under the social media link. Again, we're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Discord. I'd love to have any help if you have, if you want to help out with these social media platforms. We are always looking for help. So, yeah, there's a Discord link there. And as mentioned, YouTube, we stream these nets online. So youtube.com/Denver Radio Club. If you missed something in this net, you want to go back, you didn't hear something or whatever it may be, youtube.com/Denver Radio Club. We live stream the nets, and you can check in online. You can see some behind the scenes activities. Lots of cool stuff there. Lots of meetings, lots of a few years of videos, and we see in the stats a lot of people watching things. So we do appreciate that. So with that, this is Daron K1 DBC Net Control. I will I'll do one last call. This will be the actual final call. Any last minute, any final check-ins, comments, questions, please call now.
KI4WIN.
Yeah, KI4WIN, Daniel, go right ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks again for running the net, and really appreciate that. And it was nice to hear everybody on tonight, have a bunch of different discussion about it. And yeah, it's always fun to talk ham radio, and I especially like the format of this net because it's an opportunity for us to have some very interesting discussion and bring up new ideas, which doesn't always happen in our day-to-day round robins or chit-chats or other nets going on throughout the day. So thanks, everybody, for being out here. I appreciate it. And thanks, Torin, for running the net. Very much appreciate that. KI4WIN.
All right, KI4WIN. Yeah, thanks as always. Really appreciate and like to hear those sorts of comments. So yeah, I'm always happy to have this net be the way it is and open and hopefully we can discuss things that aren't well trodden ground that we've talked about time and time again. And always happy to hear new calls out there and whatnot. So love all of the activity and everyone being out there. So yeah, this is K1DBC Net Control. Yeah. Again, we talked about quite a lot here. Preparedness for events, emergency preparedness. We talked about SOTA and POTA operations and 40 meters and different rigs and a lot of upcoming events. Our club is going to be helping with the cycling event coming up, the American Diabetes Tour de Cure on September 11th. So look for some more news on how that went. So a lot of awesome volunteer support with that. Again, that's September 10th. September 11th, again, we talked about the upcoming fox hunt. Get more information on that at n0cfm@aol.com or on his QRZ page, n0cfm. A lot of cool stuff here. Really appreciate everyone being here. Again, upcoming meeting. Let me drop here for a second. Everything on our webpage, W0TX.org, September 21st, 7 p.m. Another event that a club member has supported, very similar. The Golden Grand Fondo, a bicycle event supported by Amateur Radio. So we'll have a lot of Aries type of conversations over the next couple of months about all the events we've been helping with and whatnot. So yeah, really appreciate everyone being here. We had a total of 19 check-ins. We appreciate our Elmers, our club for allowing us to use their repeaters. And yeah, we appreciate really all of you. You all are what create this net and keep the momentum going. So always appreciate that. Yeah, with that, this is K1DBC Net Control. I'm going to go ahead and put the repeater back into normal mode.
PL on.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Again, appreciate everyone being here. I'll play a quick outro video on the YouTube, just some advanced manufacturing by Adafruit, some pretty cool stuff here, just a minute or two. So with that, this is K1DBC. Everyone have a good evening, 7-3, and I'm cleared. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. Check out this advanced manufacturing, a pick and place machine by Adafruit. Pretty cool stuff here.
KE0SUM. Bob, you still on?
Yeah, I'm still here.
And like I said, we're going to be switching gears up. This is some Scott.
NBC Television.